Good afternoon, everybody. This one's for Malcolm. I wrote a poem in the year 2000, 26 years ago, and it sat on the shelf for some time. I've been through it, I've read it, I've quoted it to friends, but I've never recorded it on video, so I'd like to do so. So I have the original pages that I wrote the poem on, regular lined paper, and I put it in this little folder to protect them. So this lined paper, college ruled, it's 26 years old. I put it in this little folder right here, and I've always aspired to make this into a book to give to other people, sell, whatever. Something that I wrote that pulled me out of a pit. I was sunk deep in life and I was confused, and so I took up the pencil and I began to write. And through that writing, through the writing of this, I escaped the hole that I had dug myself into. The name of the poem is Green. Green, the MadJuggler. The MadJuggler. Green, as in greenhorn, green as in innocent, green as in immature, green as in new growth, green as in my favorite color. So, again, this is for Malcolm, Guite. Thanks for the inspiration, man. I appreciate what you do, and you make my heart happy listening and thinking and inspiring me to do more of what is me. 17 days into the last phase of the 75th year, I opened my eyes, took a breath. Life was clear. Grow and learn, discover the infinite, evolve. My brain power increasingly multiplied to solve. Structured psychology advanced abnormally fast. Vast memory banks recorded events from first to last. Every bit of information, keeping easily attainable, was put in proper files. Multiple tasks like swarming bees completing themselves all the while. Knowledge, the intricate structure of my reality, was the only thing that could make me feel like me. Exercising alone inside my head, I contemplated. Only the opinions of kin were truly rated. Sheltered from the storms of social contact, calm at sea, I met myself, and together we made a pact. Self-awareness climbed to levels reached by few. The actions that created me proved I could do anything I wanted to. I took life by the hand, led it through the years, braced by my family, I dealt with my fears. But now the time I spend is alone. Voices, speaking rhythms of patterns never known. I listen to the voices I chose to until my fears rip gaps in logic and they all get through. Mentality spasms deep inside, the beast quietly raises its head. Psychosis quickens, gaining momentum, the tide that comes is red. But I sidestep myself, reining me in as I flow past my pause. Gathering in the flavor of power, I join it to my cause. The chain of command initiates mission statements, ensuing calm. Poetic events coalesce. Let's get it on. Infinite voices sing reality. As I acknowledge them each in turn, every realization of what their true source is spreads the fires that burn. Creation set ablaze. The discovery of light opens up all perceptions, but life laughs and lies backwards to the children of deceptions. Webs of woven blindness distort all they think and feel, confident of destinations but still confused to what is real. The truth of clarity fuses with deceit. Light and shadow blend. Contours appreciated, but only by those who can see what they sin. Through honesty and clarification, solid beliefs can justly guide. Spreading wings that span the world, I feel the wind inside. Altitude increases, truly, I am flying high. Clouds below me, unfocused to my eye. Far beneath I see my feet and notice that I've grown, a man no more, a giant I have become, a step because I've flown. Lands of mystery, filled with possibility, call upon my mind, but stars above, filled with energy, rapidly I seek to climb, finding lights that form center points for objects in continuous motion. Knowing this perfect execution of processes truly a magic potion, and I drink the elixir of astronomers. Its warmth spreads, the contact to all thoughts, the joining of all heads, conversations quicken facts, confusion retires to the grave. I feel the truth with all I am. Hyper-awareness will eternally save, and the walls that seem to me to confine are eternally stepped through with my mind. Debates about the fact of whether it's a flat plane or straight line, when in perfect understanding of the whole, truth does brilliantly shine. For if you are somewhere far away or back at home secure, a playing card, when viewed as should, would communicate its worth. The writings on the card tell you if it's high or low. All these things are discernible. Recognition of the eyes lets you know, but turn the card and view it from the side. The facts it holds, this mystery it does hide. Open your mind, then open your eyes. My friend, you're in for a big surprise. Disconnection to the understanding of abstract expression dies. Perceptions are as numerous as the sands and as diverse as the winds. See the day for what it is. Climb out of your holes, and time will begin. Feel the deeper needs of life. Pay attention to your heart. Achievement of the goals. The beginning that has to start. Encouragement of this motion. Through this does it exist. The ball will slow and lose its speed if we who push don't persist. Effort from within. Reality continues to roll, growing as it does, snowballing. It increases mass, collecting stronger than it was. The force this reality would have to encounter to halt its forward motion would have to become day by day more powerful to match true devotion. But in time, which by psychological progression we comprehend, untried strengths will falter. We're not meant to hold the weight too large, but realize this and not alter the direction of our mind, the strengthening of will. Only to self the credit due. For alone I decide my breaking point. Alone I choose what I will do. And the portal that I stepped through showed itself to be irrevocable. Situations, thoughts, and emotions twisted, and sanity self-provocable. I changed my persona with the focus developed by self-discipline into the mindset of what I wish. Altered modes I slip in. Judgment sets the actions which I follow. This trait is imperative above all. Even with the skill and strength of Superman, without it, I will fall. Knowing all of this, inside my mind, I step forward to move ahead. The room I find myself awakening to immediately overtakes my head. Violent noise reverberates, actions controlled all of me it takes. Waves of extreme emotion consuming all I am. Slowly my heart breaks. The woman that housed all my love, and apart am I from who she is. Secrets of our heart lost among the paths of disconnectedness. I imagine life to be, she confused by her own imagination felt evilness. Apart we moved, inside our hearts the distance grew. Forgetting that we both felt betrayed by ourselves, pain ran deeply through. And the mistrust that was cultivated by seeds planted in the dark, scars inflicted to our lives, washing ourselves deep in the marks. And I left her, not thinking of her lost, and lost myself in weakness. She stayed home in the battle zone and tried to piece together the mess. Beings without a thing to lose gambled with lies concerning her distress. The feelings of hate with her were discussed for deceptive alternatives. Overwhelmed by an unstable reality formed from self-betrayal, she gives. Homecoming from separated self, I find plans fallen off the shelf. Fear of violated senses grows into full-blown insecurities. I delve. Breath, foul from the aftertaste of gnashing teeth, thickens. Suddenly surrounded by darkness, I choke but pause to listen. Whispers of minds talking out of turn, I taste thoughts uncontrolled. Dialogues riddled with fallacies, under direct eye contact, they fold. Questions that developed from listening to answers gain focus of thought. Dwelling, I sit waiting for the shadows of actions previously wrought. Recon. Again, the blood that fuels episodes of intense scrutiny. Hands taken from the wheel for a time, tempted mutiny. Clues fall out of the closet, landing face first, self questions worth. The chisel that breaks mountains apart penetrates all mirth. Tissue dangles from torn hearts, dragging down the pace. Life, once full ahead, now waits for the word to re-enter the race. Aggressively looking for the green light, I bring myself to the fight. I diligently search for a way out, but fail. Nothing I try to do is right. Failure, once a jested thought, cancer's confidence I possess. Quickness through alertness slows to a labored pace, fatigued by stress. Nourishing my hope by conversations with Ben, I again decide. Alone I must be for now. Until later, I want no one beside. Reserves of invested strength seep into my legs. I stand. Life in a pack again. The boy inside must have time to understand. My only want that had grown apart, she lies in shock from the pain. Tears pour from my life as I walk away inside my head to melt into the rain. Sunlight calls. South I migrate for the winter to see my brother Ben. Along the path on my journey back to my other head, I think again. Justification of my direction, phases in and out, warpage of the spine. Flashbacks of repressed thoughts occur, thoughts I find inside strychnine, seeping from the calm of life that supports my right to stand. Decisions of actions agreed to contemplate fill my hand. Awareness of the way they lose trust, I consider others. Moving forward, curious, anxious for conversation with my brothers. Therapy I seek, a quest for peace inside the fortress walls. Division of my troops breeds insubordination and morale quickly falls. I've read the signs. If I paint a picture from descriptions, I find completeness of my overall view on life, visuals of the mind, intensely guarded, the portrait I've deduced, ready to be viewed. Men of blood will opinionate as I openly contemplate, emotions darkly hued. The presentation of awareness deeply moves my soul. The connections deeper than choice, my family, diamonds from coal. Back issues from the past, ready to be enjoyed together. Breath once again drawn through passages undisturbed by weather. Anaheim, center point of ethnic immersion, pulses on. Places known changed recently, streets are full of anarchy's pawn. Avoiding unknown topics, residents follow the ground with their eyes, building up the impact of what they fear inside. Surprise. Closed minds open up to release stale thoughts. Nothing appears. Tongues wag haughtily, boosting pseudo-egos. Closed are the ears. We know it all, they say. We have the whole world in our town. Not realizing that seclusion of hearts still produces a frown. Jaded by the vast amount of options, they ignore them all. Self-improvement on sale, they think, lost inside the mall. Sheep flock to the hive of merchants, fighting their way in and out. Lost among the distractions of possessions, they forget what life is all about. We discuss these philosophies and others with each other. Caught up in the communication trade, I enjoy my little brother. Dwelling in time, we share. Again, we morph together. Thus, dual therapy begins. I tell him of all the attacks on morals from outside and in. He spins his tales. Intense drama played by schizophrenics on the run. Personalities instigated by thoughts from voices in their head. Spun. Acting out the feelings of the mind behind the eye that drives the man. They think they're watching movies, not realizing the script is in their hand. But I know that it doesn't go so fast if you don't put in so much. So when you want the quickness flowing, execution excels into the magic touch. Dexterity perfects, then leaps beyond time into eternal overdrive. Exploration of this realm, blindly done by most. Through constant preparation I thrive. Bursting through the bubble, freshness overtakes my taste. Time spent traveling in my creation of imagination will not be a waste. Acknowledging each one's thoughts. The mind is put to work with the task. But when diluted contemplation overtakes initiation, use celebration of the inclination to ask. Because stagnation of adaptation destroys appreciation for the elevation of one's station, and a statement in denial of one's depreciation will hasten the pace in putting your face in damnation. With patience, we chasten places in the imagination where hesitation kills by infestation of the realization. The creation of a nation that provides a space in the race. Win by improvisation. In such manner we express, explaining mental phenomena, metaphors flow. The words to describe the deepest realities the mind with rhythm will know. But for others to begin to understand this type of thought, first they must learn to hold a beat, then progress alone, self-taught. Music is not universal in everyone. Some don't like the words. Noise pollution is punishable because of distaste. Freedom swerves. Points to ponder come to view. Arrival of destinations increase. In my brother I find what I am. This mirror issues peace. But connections from the one I left riddles my solitary plane. Invitations calling for help. She wants me back home again. Preparation for the trip back home draws Ben and I apart. Confused and sad, our anger flares, a battle of the heart. A week goes by with no sleep, searching for understanding. This turns to competition for the title of last one standing. Battles of control ensue. We call on personal reserves to prove. Without thought, we make our moves. Both of us will lose. So I step back by myself, and sorrow of mistakes progress. I stay inside, separated by remorse. I cry and hide to rest. But at the final hours, we seemed to feel a new bond with Ben. Heavily armored in the strengths of yesterday. Safe to try again. The trip back home is full of calm. I look forward to her heart. Time to put the shoes back on and create a brand new start. I see her face and know that she has suffered, starving as I did. I hold her in my arms with love and strength, secrets not to be hid. Depth perception shows me where the object truly is. Unsure of why it's there, my brain begins to bubble and fizz. Injecting antacids by visualizing pictures of us sharing life. I settle. Remain confident. Positivity functions overall. Thoughts not boiled in a kettle. Mental contact remains to be seen. Walls and trenches in between. 6 hours after our first contact, she abandons me. I scream. All night I sit and tweak. The beginning of my ultimate week. 13 hours later, after calling everyone, she contacts me to meet. Sitting in her truck, she spins a tale. Incredibly horrible actions have occurred. She cries in pain. I was raped, she says. Forced payment for my trip back home. I'm altered. Everything I am dies. All I have ever known truly ceased to exist. Insanity fills a place where I once possessed reality. The abyss of death persists. Fallen from the tree of life, swayed by the wind, lower than heaven, burned by the flames, hell I find myself in. Confusion, fear, rage. No longer am I living, trapped in loss. Anyone who I encountered by daily events could not get across. The distance my thought had jumped, it was incredible to me. I contemplated this, but from this place far away, I could not see. The telescope I viewed the other side with was incredibly powerful, but because of the intense focus, I missed all else. The picture was not full. This I realized and excused in the same instant. Forfeiture of judgment. Endurance, I decided, would pull me through. I would find what love meant. And so I began the mission to follow the path of a lost love. Studying her every move, I followed her, breaking myself. I shoved, and balance that had tilted, instead of being caught, was ignored. Not turning my head as it dropped, I was critically jarred when it hit the floor. Pieces of my heart lay scattered, wreckage of life's own creation. Life, when upon discovery, asked about the mess, my interpretation. The time it spent explaining was increased because of confusion. This was not caused by the jarring, but because of guilt's delusion. Guilt caused by knowing it was broken by lack of attention. My mind was somewhere else. I was just sitting there in self-detention, confined to it by myself. Imaginary bonds held me down, not realizing that I could stand if I wanted, unbound. Life decided there would be a lesson given to help me learn. I was to be absent of my home, alone outside. A fire must burn. Motivation for life had to be rediscovered, or I would be lost. Life would know when it happened, because heat always melts frost. Empty of life, I traveled through time to a place nowhere. There, dead to life, I fought to overcome where I was and why I was there. Love conquered all, burning brighter than the sun. It pierced through the clouds, decimating the mountain of denial. Truth again was finally allowed. Knowledge again was found. My head began to clear. Understanding the meaning of life caused a path to appear. Instantly, as I stepped upon the path, it transforms who I am. The boy who searched for love found it and became a man. True love defines the heart. Denying it causes life to end. Music of the spheres, projected from the deepest truths, beats within, and I laugh. Life flows into my veins. I spring out of the grave. Reactions of my actions, a ripple of thought becomes a tidal wave. Boundless force, power and motion, the wave washes over all, assimilating all levels of reality. The one power stands tall. Primal energies pulse inside, creating within the core, emerging from eternal thought. Green leaps out with a roar. The personification of psychological traits stands before me, brought to existence through a door opened by patterns I see. His voice overwhelms my mind as he speaks truth to me. Listening, I comprehend the rhythm of logic's melody. Tact, same as smooth. Openly I'm alive. Drifting around as if on a journey to laughter, we drive. Grain surrounds me. He and I talk alone. Contemplation clearer than we both have ever known. The influence of alien mind waves corrode the truth. One by one, the human race, we lose a tooth. Discovery of this fact I found, Green and I were playing. Triple backflips off the roof, I land crouched, waiting to spring up, hurling through the air, and flash patterns evolved. Unheard of facts presented in the air before me, I solved. True discovery of natural philosophy created rhythm. I played upon the keys, music of flight paths, driven. Every mind that connects to this visual song grins a cure. Genius. The reality green with growth that is again pure. Numbers I know. New and incredible definitions. Tastes and smells. Consciousness eternal. I am the creator of infinite spells. Casting them, I play. Multiplying thoughts, I accelerate skyward. Mountains of green surround the lake. A flashing sword. Coeur d'Alene sparkles like the jewel on the crown of God. My creator shines on me with love, giving me a nod. I view the city by the lake of its birth, smiling. Never in my travels of continents or space books filing has perceptions I possess drawn me such a mental picture. This paramount masterpiece is my home for sure. Here I truly live, heart and soul plays, it's air I breathe. In the park, goodness from the lake of life rides the breeze. Drifting over the juggler's circle, it creates a wind funnel. Power from the pistons stir the air as I calmly tunnel through the walls of unknown boundaries far ahead. I map my thoughts and chaos science leaps ahead. Chaology, the science that searches for the ultimate explanation of our physical world, theory of everything we get. As darkness fell, my eyes became still. Thoughts of patterns seen quickly grow solid as I feel. 9 in a cascade jumps around my head, felt. A 9, 7, 8 ball half shower shows itself. This I smelt. Because of 7, 5 being solid for the first time, I juggled 7 like my 6 half showers rhyme. 5, you no longer challenge my skill, just a thought. I twist you around, dancing in splits, multiplex top. Your shower shows me 9.5. I truly laugh. 9, you are surely the next landmark on my path. And I walk the moonlit path of the ninja confidently. Getsumi no Michi, throwing stars coming out of me. Stalking in the forest of my mind, swinging in the trees, silently I hunt my prey, mental swiftness controlled with ease. The scent I follow intensifies, fractaling power thrusts my speed. Detailed reports arrive, the scouting thoughts signal what I need. To understand a man, you must follow his journey from birth till now. His true self will present itself, walls of disconnection before you will bow. Love contains appreciation for the understanding of the other. Defensive space breeds disease, fomented, it infects lovers. Fortresses, ruled by the keepers of disconnection, spring up everywhere. Confusion attacks the carrier pigeons. Lost, they drop out of the air. Communication cut off. Life's stories no longer comprehended. Love shifts to our reverse plane of reality. Hate is now consciously tended. Lands inside are conquered with every thought, overtaken by fortress walls. But constant cleansing of the soul causes all of this to fall. Mark the days, it has begun. Evolution of understanding. Consciousness expanded. Increasing heights on planes I'm standing. Truth unfolds before my eyes. I view the sun without clouds. Clarity of reality forces specialties to be boundlessly allowed. Across the water, trees focus the thoughts of green. In the juggler's circle, concepts unimaginably seen. And I draw the power from the funnel easily. Thinking without turbulence, competence flows in me. Rhythm pulses, sitting in the bistro, talking with me, it soothes. Sound-generated patterns blend with my ears, so smooth. 6-ball half shower talks about itself to me. Static X thinks I should be dancing on my feet. Jump up. Think on your feet. Play hard. Thinking only of laughter, I walk out to the yard. Symphonic etchings lie in the trees. Shadows of the day. Dream weavers circle the fire, creating mental play. Shapes from their bodies slide into creatures from my mind. Elusive life forms, hidden from the world of man, meditating I find. And I draw the tree of life, swaying in the wind. Thoughts reach outward to branch, leaves spring out my limbs, and the forest of my mind produces acres of foliage for wildlife. Civilizations increased, thriving by the river of swapping sights. Expressions of various rhythms pattern the air above me. Random flight paths imprinted upon my visual screen, I see. Mobius strips I manipulate, continuously fluctuating, controlled with the secret language discovered by science's mating. Cryptid writers flash into life, scripted on the pages, as I define the book of spells for future mages. Understanding the patterns, a work of thought and time. Learning to speak and know the words, and then begin to rhyme. Families of patterns emerge out of the chaos of numbers. Everything connects to everything. Surfing the connections, I discover wonders. Ideas become fact when I see thoughts. I dwell inside. The pencil brings my proof. The pencil brings my proof. Truth I cannot let hide. Thank you. Thanks for spending a little time with me. I know maybe a whole bunch of people wouldn't have made it that far. It's a long poem. I'm a juggler, and I left off my juggling to chase after a woman that wasn't right for me. We weren't right for each other. We had different goals in life. At that time in my life, I had gotten out of the Marine Corps and I had taken up juggling, and I'd become very infatuated with it. It had become a lifestyle, and I traveled and did shows and taught workshops and lived in the Redwood Forest. And I met a woman up in Idaho, and neither of us were in a good time in our life, and we seemed to pair together, but not for the right reasons. And she didn't like my juggling. So I put it aside. Don't ever put aside something that is your love for somebody else. It's always the wrong thing to do. And it's the quickest way to lose yourself. And I lost myself. And through the heartbreak and the leaving and the drama and the lies, I had to pull apart into life, and I didn't know where I was. I was lost. So I took a pencil and paper, and I've written poetry my whole life. And I thought, I'm just gonna start writing. And I'm gonna write so I can look back on, and I can understand, and then I can contemplate, and then I can grow, and then I can pull myself out of this pit and see where I was and who I am. And that's what this poem is. This poem is called Green, the MadJuggler. And I realized how much I loved juggling and other things as well. And how being true to yourself and being true to what you love will keep you firmly grounded in this life wherever you go and whatever things happen. It's at that time that I began to think about eternity and my soul as well. I was raised religious in church, but I had walked away because of the style of church that I had been raised in. I wasn't impressed with. And I'll tell you one thing is, when God has already been presented in your heart, you can try to walk away as far as you can, but life will smack you and turn your head back to Him. And it's the only way to make it through this life, to find joy again in this life, to celebrate in life. I hope you guys like that poem. Here's to you, if you made it through, or if you even listened to a little bit of it. Be true to yourself. Be true to the things that you love. Even if people laugh and say, that's silly, that's foolish, it doesn't matter. If you quit doing those things that you love to do, you will always have an emptiness in your soul. Be true to who you are. It's who you are. Have a great day, guys.